Okay, so question 8 is a particularly nice question, and it really focuses on your knowledge of Year 1 pure material rather than applied, because it's all about manipulation of surds. Okay, so we're going to look at we've got these four forces acting on this particle, and we know the particle is in equilibrium. What we're going to do is we're going to give each force in its horizontal and vertical components. So P has got a horizontal component of P cos 60 and a vertical component of P sin 60. Q has got a horizontal component of Q cos 45 and a vertical component of Q sin 45. So we're going to start, doesn't matter which way we do this, we're going to start by resolving vertically. And so upwards I've got P sin 60, and that must equal the downward forces, which are Q sin 45 plus 30. Now, sin 60 is root 3 on 2, so I can say that root 3 over 2p equals q sin 45, which is root 2 over 2q plus 30, and multiplying everything by 2 and bringing the p's and q's to one side, I get root 3p minus root 2q equals 60. I've just multiplied everything by 2, and I've brought this q over to the other side. Okay, so I'm going to do exactly the same by resolving horizontally. To the right I've got 60. To the left I've got p cos 60, which is a half p, and I've got q cos 45, which is plus root 2 on 2q. Again, I'm just going to flip the sides around, so I'm going to put the p's and q's on the left just to match it up with this. So I've got p plus q plus root 2q equals 120. So all I've done is I've just multiplied everything through by 2. P plus root 2q gives me 120. Okay, so here I'll call this equation 1, call this equation 2. I've got a pair of simultaneous equations, and nicely my coefficients of q match up. So the signs are different, so I'm going to need to add my two equations together, and I can now say that root 3p plus p, and my q's cancel each other out, my root 2q and my plus root 2q equals whatever I get when I add these together gives me 180. Factorising out my p, lots of root 3 minus plus 1 equals 180, and therefore p equals 180 over root 3 plus 1. Now, we don't like this form, so we're going to multiply by root 3 minus 1, and multiply by root 3 minus 1 here. That's going to give me, when I multiply through by root 3 minus 1, I've got 3 minus root 3 plus root 3 minus 1, which is going to give me 2. So I've got 180 root 3 minus 1 over 2. 180 and 2 cancel to give me 90 lots of root 3 minus 1. Make sure that's in brackets. And that's my value of p. I'm now going to substitute into equation 2 is going to be easier to find my value of q. So I've got 90 lots of root 3 minus 1 plus root 2q equals 120. So here I'm going to multiply out my brackets to give me 90 root 3 minus 90 plus root 2q equals 120, and I'm going to leave my root 2q on the left. Well, I've got 120, I'm going to need to add my 90, which gives me 210 minus 90 root 3, and I need to divide everything there by root 2. Actually, I'm going to find it easier to multiply everything by root 2, So if I multiply this by root 2 times root 2 gives me 2q equals 210 root 2 minus 90 root 6. I'm just going to give you a note there just to show that I've multiplied that by root 2. Dividing through by 2 at the end is going to give me q equals 105 root 2 minus 45 root 6. Well done.